All right, I just got to talk to you about an allegation. I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but when we do interviews, we record everything, okay? So don't be alarmed by this. It's March 16th at 1909. It's myself and Officer Nelson.
Yes.
Okay. Officer Nelson, actually Major Sal was doing an investigation into an incident, and somebody wrote a statement saying that you was having improper contact with one of our inmates, Mr. Brooks. Have you heard anything about this?
I just noticed that yesterday when the LT told me that he didn't get into detail. He just said that, wow, I'm really shocked. He said that I couldn't go down to a male housing unit, and that they pulled me into the, he didn't get into detail, you know. So,
do you know why somebody would say this?
Well, let me tell you this. I'm really upset about it. I mean, after, you know, people talking, I'm supposed to talk, whatever. But I figured it because when the bottom line is this allegation is bogus, and it's coming from, I'm just going to put it's coming from Goobill. Because what happened is we wrote it, Goobill, Alice Goobill. And that's why I don't understand why it even went there for. No, it's Goubil. And to make a long story short, well, not make, because this is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? I got enough going on now. I'm going through a divorce. I'm single parent, whatever. This is what happened. Her and whatever the clerk named Brian Steele, that's where it started from.
I think that's what the major's handling.
It is, but that's what happened. We wrote a statement. This is what happened. She hung up on him and did stuff, and they got into whatever, and she called him some names or whatever. So we had to write a statement. So we wrote a statement, and then when he called, basically he called back and said, well, who hung the phone up on me? And I told she was there, me, Officer Adams, and her. I said, Officer Goobill, because I don't play those games. I'm 43 years, I don't play that. So I told her to stop doing that. So he got upset, and then, you know, she made some remarks in there, whatever. So we had to write a statement. He came, he filed a complaint. We wrote a statement. So apparently she got upset about the statement, and she's just saying that she's making these allegations, whatever. Like I said, this is bogus. You can ask Lieutenant. I've been in bonding for 2 years. I just went to the housing unit, and I'm in housing unit 3 around females. So when I heard it, I didn't know to what extent, you know, but I just know that Lieutenant LT was like, you can't. I say, oh, I ain't mad because I can't go to no male housing unit, but I've been in bonding for 2 years. Goobill's been like in bonding or central. So for her to make, you know what I'm saying, but I know she's being vindictive because that's what it is. How
long have you been employed here?
I've been here almost 5 years. This should be 5 years.
5 years.
Well, September, this should be 5 years. So.
Never had any kind of trouble?
No.
All right, yeah, I looked. I could not find anything in your file, and that's why.
Because I am dead set. I mean, you can check. I mean, I do, of course, I'm the only inmate that I had contact with. I mean, of course, do you know people? Yeah, but my husband was here, and I put money, my ex-husband, because he was my ex-husband, he got arrested on the FTA. I went through Sergeant Gardner, and she talked to the captain. And he told me to, I went and put the money on his books to do an FTA. Matter of fact, they even told me Jay Daniels did the bond. And they told Jay Daniels dressed him out. They told me not to do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only yes that I did.
When was that?
That was, if you look at his name, George Nelson, I want to say July or May sometime last year.
Last year?
Yes. But those allegations, if you think crazy, you can check my record. I have not been in the housing. I've been in bonding.
Do you know an inmate Brooks, or last name Brooks, first name Brooks, or?
I know a last name Stevens, first name Brooks.
Brooks Stevens?
Yes.
Do you have contact with him?
I know. I mean, like I said, me and his mom is really good friends, and that's why I say she is PHENS. And that's why I said Goobill is just trying to grasp at anything, but she's mad. He's the same age my son is. Make a difference in whatever. Him and my son, I'm really friends with his mom. That's how I knew him. And then he became friends with my son. So yeah, yes, I do know him. But as far as inmate, come on now. I've been married since I got here, and this is really
this would be something like a personal relationship with your son outside of work.
Right.
So it has nothing to do with you. Do you and him talk?
I know when he's out. I know I'm really good friends with his mom. I mean,
how long has he been locked up with us? Do you know?
I don't know. You have to look that up. I don't know. I know when I talk his mom, I know that he gets out on the 25th.
So what's going on with you and Goo Bill? Is this something y'all gonna be able to squash, or? I mean,
And this is what crazy. I can show. This is what's so crazy about it. Goo Bill just texted me on. That's why I say she's mad, because she wrote that she's mad because that dude went and filed a complaint on her. Goo Bill, I don't know if anybody know Goo Bill's reputation. She plays a lot. She do a lot of stuff. She's real mean. And you just sent me a text. Oh, thank you, because she knows the situation I'm going through my house. That's why I'm really upset about that. I am really going through her. She know that I'm trying to get a home or whatever because of the situation, my divorce. And I just talked to her about it. She was just like, oh, I'm so glad that VA, whatever VA. And then she just sent me a text, said, oh, thanks, I hope everything's all right. Then the next day, I mean, she came down, me and I was in housing unit 3. She came down on that Friday, the day that incident happened. She came to the housing unit. She was in the housing unit with us, talking to us, whatever. And then Brian called for a visit, because he's a visitation clerk. Then he called because he always talks to us about church. And she don't like him. But this thing with her been going on long before class. Like even when he was in classification, she just don't like him.
Why do you think she would just say that? Just try to get you in trouble?
Right, because I wrote a statement on her and she's mad. And she whatever, because she's never, you can ask, never, an inmate? Come on now. Well, and then she probably did that because she knew.
I tried to use our phone system, but like all government equipment, it doesn't work when you need it. And they're not even going to fix it for freaking 30 days, so. But other than that, I mean, it's your word against her word.
In my record, I'm not, you can talk to anybody.
I pulled you up,
you can talk to Lieutenant Board, and if you look, it doesn't make sense. Even the major said, isn't Nelson, I've been in bonding for 2 years, so how do I have, you know what I'm saying? Then for you to, you know what I'm saying? That's like I said, Goo Bill, that's why I said she's just doing something. She don't know anything else to say. She just know that I don't know where she get that from. I really don't know. And it's really making me mad because like I said, when Lieutenant Fanning called me, I was with a realtor then. You know what I'm saying? I have to be out of my house by April 3rd. My house is getting foreclosed on April 3rd. Well, it's getting foreclosed on because of the divorce and what my husband did. I don't have time for that. She got me up here with this, and I am a single mother, and I don't have time for this. I don't play by my job.
His last name Stevens or Brooks?
Stevens.
Stevens. So I guess he's been in here since December.
And I have not been in under, I'm not even in the housing unit. I've been in bonded, and when we switched on night shift, I've been in housing unit 3. I can count the times. 2 overtime days I was in housing unit 6, and 1 overtime day I was in 4.
So you have absolutely no contact with him at work? What about off work? Does he call your son or call your house?
Yes, when we're off work? Yeah, but I mean the last couple of months, like right before he kind of, because I don't know that he moved my son. I don't know that he moved somewhere, and he was, but yeah, he ain't my son. Me and his mom is really good friends.
So now your son doesn't live with you now?
Yeah, he lives with me.
So that's what I'm saying. Does he call your son at your house or?
No, he can't. He can call my house because I don't collect calls.
So you don't talk to him at work?
At all.
Off work when you're at home. Only maybe when he's out of jail and your son comes.
When I go over his mom's house. I mean, me and his mom are really good friends. This is ridiculous.
Where do you live at?
In Fairburn.
Fairburn? So you had to come all the way up here from
Yes. Matter of fact, I was a little bit further than Fairburn because I was with my realtor. I was looking at a home. I can't believe she did. That boy's like my son.
Y'all work the same shift? I'm assuming.
No, we don't now because we just came back to days. Gotcha. On March the 5th, so.
All right. Of course, you know what this is. It's a statement form. Just same thing on the last one y'all did. Just fill it out.
What's the day's date?
The 16th.
I don't have time, but this is ridiculous.
Just 7/19. Just put in
19. What is it?
7/19. 19/19.
19.
Just Like, you think she made an allegation because of what her investigation?
That's exactly what she did. Because if that was really the case, why did this never come up? She wrote, and somebody overheard. I guess when the major called the sheriff in there and said, he was like, she wrote this on a statement. So my thing is, she's mad because I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? When he called us, you did hang up on him. And then you was like, he called back and asked me why. And I said, why? You did make derogatory statements towards him. And I told her, you're not in that dude's bedroom. You shouldn't be calling him gay. So she got mad because he actually went and filed, what you call it, sexual harassment, discrimination. And she know that she's going to get, she played too much. And I told her.
The major's handling that one. But anytime there's an allegation about fraternization or whatnot, we have to do it. It's just a...
And if you ask, and I state my reputation, you can ask Lieutenant Bohr, Sergeant. I've been here.
Is that your Lieutenant Bohr?
Yes, Lieutenant Bohr. He was just like, Nelson, he was just like, he was through. Because anybody know I was married and everybody know I was going through, I don't have time. An inmate that ain't got no money to give me. I know it sounds bad, but good God Almighty, I'm trying to get my house foreclosed on. The last thing I'm worrying about is the image. Goopio did that to be spiteful. When they say Miss Love Company, she trying to take somebody with her. Because she mad because I wrote on my statement that she called him a fat. I actually heard that. Adams was there, but I heard her call him a and and I always was going at her with that. Don't do that. You haven't seen, you just like everybody else. And it's ironic, you just text me. I can show you a text where she just texts me. Now all of a sudden you want to write a statement. Come on now. I have better things. This is ridiculous.
How old is she?
Too old to act the way she do.
Really?
30. She like in her mid-30s. And you hear I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt. You hear stuff, she's messy, you do it. But I don't judge people, but now I know. She's just upset because and see, she know that I'm really more easygoing. You see, she ain't try to allow us because she know Officer Adams will probably fight her. It's ridiculous. She just did that because she know I'm a Christian type. And then I don't even do. I cannot believe that. So I'm just writing a statement for hear what I'm saying in here.
Yeah, just you were aware. I guess the lieutenant
told
you yesterday
me
don't go in the housing unit
right
or whatnot. Mm-hmm. So you was aware of an investigation, but
I didn't know
asked
that.
you.
Yeah. Okay.
If you contact Stevens Brooks at work, off work, he's a friend of your son.
He's a friend of. I knew it through his mother. Yeah, his mother and I do. If he come to the house and stuff like that, talk. But he don't be. It's not like.
And you feel Googled.
Yeah, she's doing it out of spite.
Because she's got a negative investigation.
Yes.
And then if you can remember the last time you talked to him, either here or
I haven't talked to him either.
Just write it in there. Or the last time you actually talked to him, just last time I've contacted or seen Stevens Brooks was on, even if it's, you just gotta put a date, April of last year or whatnot. I don't know how good of friends him and your son are. How good you and his mom.
Me and her
go
really
over there
good friends.
and you've seen her at the house. Just give me an estimate.
And I don't even think he stayed with her because whenever I go, I know I seen him when he came in jail because I was coming through and. Matter of fact, Son Jones was like, I said, what are you doing down here? And then he was just like, whatever. And I called his mom. As a matter of fact, I had a message on my thing. She was just like, that boy down there, whatever, you seen me. Other than that, I ain't seen him. And Sergeant Johnson was down there. Other than that, I haven't seen that boy like that. Him and my son, I do go over his mother. We are really good friends.
Gotcha.
I met that lady way back, I think when we was getting ready to work at the post office. That's how many years ago. So I'm going to put on, what was yesterday's date? 3:15. I was.
You off this weekend? Come back Monday?
Yep. I was really supposed to be working on, but I had somebody work for me because I was trying to do this thing with this house because I know April 3rd right around the corner, so I needed some days to get this done. And on 3:15, I was advised by Lieutenant Bohr. No, I did speak to him one time when I was there. Officer Lockett couldn't verify. I told him that his muscle. What's that? This is ridiculous because I don't even talk about it. It's not that. Oh. That's like going up.
If you have to guesstimate 3 months, 6 months.
Well, no, I'm saying no. I talked to him
12
one
months.
time. Well, one time because his mother.
We'll just put. I talked to him one time.
I said in the house, and Officer Lockett was a witness. So, and he was, and then he was out. He got pulled out in front of everybody, and I spoke to him through whatever, like through the door, whatever. I told him that about his mother and his daughter. Actually, his daughter's grandmother had passed.
And that was that was during this time?
Yeah.
The last time he's been locked up, so it's been within 3 months you've talked to him?
No, it was this time. That's the only time.
You know, in the last 3 months I've spoken with him once. Or whatever,
just to inform him.
Once and it was
Officer Lockett was there.
Working conditions.
Last time I spoke
none on personal.
Right. I've never spoken to him personally. I ain't setting up collect calls. So the last time I spoke to him, I was going to inform him.
And if he calls your house phone for your son, you can write that. But if he doesn't call your house phone,
no, he calls. He'll call. He'll call.
Just put that in there. He doesn't call your house or your cell phone. And
he does. I mean, he hasn't had it in a month, but he has in the past. But last time he ever called my cell phone, that's probably been last year sometime, because my son didn't really have a phone. But he doesn't call. I mean, I don't talk. I mean, it's really, that's why I can't believe that. This is really crazy. And before he came to jail, I hadn't seen or heard from him in months, because, his mom was like, he don't stay with her half the time. You know what I'm saying? Stay with some girl or whatever.
Like you said, misery loves company.
And I promise you can ask anything about my record speaks for itself. I mean, even though I know you still have to do what you got to do, but you've never heard an inmate. I mean, not to say that they beneath, or whatever, but I mean, some people are down there innocent. I know that, and I know bad thing happens to good people, but come on.
Well, I didn't think it was going to take long. We've already been in here 30 minutes.
I know. I'm about to be through because I really need to go back. I really needed to look at the house, trying to close so I can.
Where are you trying to move to?
Well, I don't want to move out of the area. I'm trying to move, I live in Fairburn. Well, actually, I thought it would have been Union City, but it's not, because it's actually right over Old National. As soon as you pass Holyfield House,
yeah,
I live right out there, but this here is like right where the dealerships at in Union City, like Oakley Township, Oakley Boulevard. That's the home back there I'm trying to buy. That is crazy. I know this is vindicated because I had a girl down there that used to be at, my daughter's friend. She used to almost live with me. She was down there, but you ain't say nothing about that. That's what I'm saying. You trying to be just being nasty, just trying to come up with something. Okay, then I just put in statement.
No, that's not what I said. That's fine. This is Garrett. It just tells you that, if there's anything we talk about in here is not criminal. We can't never use it for criminal. It says you have to tell the truth, which we have a policy that says you have to tell the truth. So.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I don't have no reason on that.
How many times would just last sentence? Because you said 4 to 6 months ago. Just put. How many times do you think he's contacted your phone? Once, twice, 5 times, 10 times, or whatever. If that was the only time he contacted you, just put, this is the only time he contacted me, and it was 4. If you know why he contacted you. Was he an inmate then?
No. No, he was out of jail. No, he'll just call me. Like I said, I know he's like a son. I know him.
How long have you known him?
Ooh, for some years.
For some years.
I met his. I used to. She didn't get the job, but I met her when I applied at the post office, and that was back in like 05. I think like 05, and I just been friends with her. And then it just so happened my son and her son were around the same age, but he stays in our trouble, but. You said
he's contacted my phone 1 time, 2 times, however many, or if you have to estimate, 3
I would
times.
say no more than 5.
No more than 5 times, and he was not an inmate, or he wasn't.
Oh no, he was not an inmate. Oh no, he can't. No, I don't play that. Well, I ain't taking no calls, no collect calls. No, you crazy. So this is crazy. I put 5X.
Huh?
I put 5X, like, I forget
That's
I'm
fine.
not right
Five
now.
times, and
five times, and
he was not incarcerated, and I was not on duty or whatnot. That way,
you
so
can't have a phone, so
officer in
he
the
was not
relationship.
Incarcerated. Rated. Nora was yeah. Wow, this is. I mean, I understand this. This is crazy. You can't. I mean, you know people, and you just wow. And people can just take stuff, you know.
Just sign it. Employee number.
Okay. So that's basically crazy. So let me ask you a question. So if my son or my daughter went to jail, I mean, I know this is gonna seem. I mean, how would they do that and they live with me? What would I mean? I know it gets tricky, but
Yeah.
because it's almost like you can't have, you know, any type of. I'm not saying, you know what I mean. Like you can't have really any dealings with anybody that's.
It would be just like you did with your ex-husband. You went and spoke with your sergeant or lieutenant and got permission. You know,
Only because when I was actually in my car, he called my phone, and I said, well, who called me from 5500? And it was, you know, but I did it because I didn't want the, you know, and if I did that, do you think I would be fooling with an inmate? Because I knew if I knew with my husband, I was like, okay, she told me, you know, Sergeant Garner went and talked to Captain Smith, and he just said, put the money on the books, and let me not be the one to do the bond, because I was working in bonding.
That's all you would do.
Because I was just like, you know, like, could they not stay with you? You know, like if my son went to jail, could he not come back to my house?
We will now attempt to connect your call. Please remain on the line while we attempt to gain acceptance information from your called party. This call may take up to 60 seconds. Please continue to hold.
This is him calling you today. We got 195 phone calls from him to you. And you want to sit here and tell me it's not your character to do this. It's not your character to have inmates call you. He's called me once or twice, and it's for my son. But we sit here and listen to 192 phone calls. We sit here and listen to you tell him if they come in, you tell them I'm friends with your mama, and I know you're friends. If that's you don't have to coach him into that stuff.
But no, I am.
So what is your explanation for these?
I am friends with his mom.
So what's that got to do with him calling you? What's that got to do with you and him discussing marriage back in February? You was talking about getting married.
Who? No, I wasn't talking about getting married. Nobody in February.
Please continue to hold. Calls are subject to be recorded and may be monitored.
Got something that tells you they're subject to be recorded.
Okay, you can say I've been recorded, but I've never talked to him about being married.
Did you take the rules and regs class?
Yes, but me and him are
January
not.
26th.
Well, yeah, but me and him are not. And I want to know.
He called you while you was in class?
He called me in class?
Yeah. Did he not call you while you was in class?
No.
He didn't call you while you was in rules.
I mean, I didn't talk to anybody while I was in rules and regulation. We can't have. I didn't talk to anybody in rules and regulation.
Hello, this is a prepaid collect call from Rules and Regulation. Rules and Regulation. Say what? Okay, man, what do you want? What do you got? You on that bad, man? What do you want? Man, I was at the damn class. It's going on all day today. You got 3 different classes.
So no, I wasn't in class. I just had my phone in class. You can't have that phone.
Anthony Zone, please state
What
your
is this?
first and
She's
last
got a
name.
vendetta against you?
Yes.
That's why she made an allegation.
Right.
Not because it's true.
We will now attempt to connect
Right,
your
Because
I mean-
you're
Please remain on the line while we
fraternizing
attempt
with
to
an
gain
inmate.
acceptance information
She
I'm
wouldn't
not-
do that. Is this fraternization? Yes or no?
Is this what?
Fraternization with an inmate.
He's not. No, it's not fraternization. I never talked to him while he was in
This
here.
is not fraternization with an inmate.
I never talked to him while he was in here.
You know your rules and regs?
Please remain on the
Say what
line
now?
while we
Do you know
attempt to
rules and
gain
regs?
acceptance
What?
information from your
Yeah, but fraternize, I never talked to him while he was in here. I never had any contact with him
I don't
while
think
he
it
was in
says
here.
while he's in here. I mean, he's in jail right here. You're talking to him.
I'm not
You don't have
talking
to
to him,
be
but
here.
yeah, but
You
I
don't
mean,
have
I
to be in
was.
the building to talk to him. That's not what policy says about
Please remain
fraternization.
on the line while we attempt
Policy
to gain
doesn't say
acceptance
you have to be
information from your
face-to-face.
called party. This call may take up to 60 seconds. Please continue to hold.
This is a sucky situation, right?
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
sucky,
this
but,
is, you
but it's
got
sucky,
caught up in something that you
But
shouldn't have even been caught up in.
Right, but I'm not. But the thing is, at the end of any given day, of course I'm saying it because but I'm not in. Haven't done anything in the job. I've never dealt with him at work. Never. I haven't even been in the housing units. And like I said, I haven't been in the housing units. I came down. Like I said, I told him the last time I spoke to him face-to-face, when I told him that his daughter grandmother passed, and then when he came in December. So I know.
Let's go and read 7.17, fraternization. All employees are expressly prohibited from fraternizing with inmates and former inmates both while on duty and off duty. This is your policy and procedure. You've been here 5 years.
Right.
Yeah, I've been here 2 years. I know this.
I thought, no, I'm not dealing with him right there, and I knew him before.
This
before
includes,
him.
but
I
it's
knew
not
him for
limited
years.
to dating, establishing a relationship, delivering or posting of letters, packages,
I never did
correspondence,
that. It says
inside or
what now?
outside, providing an inmate with an item. That's
So what is that? So what does it say? What did it say about? I never brought him anything. I never dealt with him in
It says
jail.
contact.
I never had any face to face. I never went since he been in the job. Never did. I don't do stuff like that. So.
I mean, obviously, I mean, we sit here, we sit here and listen to it. You know, he's upset because you're moving on with your life, and in 1 minute you're back, and
No,
we
never
might
did
get a
that.
house. I'm looking at a house over here, so.
But I'm not looking at a house over here.
7.02 says, right?
Like what?
It says be truthful. That's what 7.02 says. Be truthful.
Okay, but I'm not in a relationship with him. Nor have I'm not. I have never brought him anything. I don't go see him. I've not been in the housing unit. The only thing I do, and I know you saying that, but I've never been in and he don't call my
But right here it says, you know,
because
a total of
I'm
5 times. A total of 5 times. And he was not incarcerated. I mean, this is 192 times. That's a big difference. That's not a mistake.
he didn't call me 192 times. If he did,
He's called you 192
okay,
times.
but he didn't connect with me no 192 times. I know that's not right. No, but no, I'm saying, does it say he connected with me 192 times?
If you say he didn't,
No. I say if he say he connected with me.
he didn't have to say it. I got the printout.
You know what I'm saying? Does it say I connected? I talked to him 192 times.
Yes. This thing doesn't record when you're not talking. These are all recorded conversations. These are. He's called you 8 times today. 8 times today, just today. He's
Right,
called you
because-
8 times today.
Right. The only reason is because I already knew, but I didn't know. I knew him before here, and I haven't had done anything with him. And you can ask him or anybody. Like I said, I don't. And I don't bring him
He
anything.
called you 8 times on the 13th.
On when?
The 13th. That would have been.
I was at work.
Yeah, that was Tuesday. He
I was
called
at
you.
work, and see that's why it couldn't be connected because I was at work. I can't have my phone. I mean,
So
so
you're saying he doesn't connect well on the 13th? Y'all didn't talk?
I'm saying I was at work. What time did he say?
Hello, this is a prepaid collect call from... This call is subject to recording charges. Press 1 to...
I'm
So
at
I'm
work,
saying-
but you're
no.
talking to him right here.
No, I'm asking. That wasn't at work. I can't have my phone in the building, so it had to be after work. It had to be after 6 o'clock. No, I'm saying look at the time.
Yeah, 10 o'clock at night,
Right.
10:30 at night.
Okay, because I don't have my phone at work. You can't have your phone in here. And he's just, but there's nothing with us, and there's, like I said, there's nothing. And I didn't know that the fraternization, whatever, I have never brought him anything. I have never dealt with him at work.
So we're gonna start over. We're gonna start over with this interview.
I'm gonna start over.
Our system is not broke.
Right.
We've listened to all these.
Right. I heard. I know.
But it's still, I'm just gonna read a couple policies to you.
Right.
That way, we start off on the right foot.
Well,
we're gonna put all this behind us, and we're gonna start all over. First one I'm going to read is truthfulness. Personnel of the Sheriff's Office shall be truthful at all times, both on and off duty, under oath or otherwise. Anyone who does willfully depart from the truth shall be considered unfit for service and subject to disciplinary action. That means if you lie to me in here, you could be terminated. Okay? Alright, so we're going to go through some of these, just so we're clear. Not only do we have a truthfulness, we also have a prohibition against conduct unbecoming. Conduct unbecoming an officer's conduct which general public may perceive as negative or unprofessional in nature. Number 2, lying to a superior or other employee. That would be me. So now we got 2 policies about lying. Okay, not to mention anything that would be negative or perceived as negative or unprofessional in nature. You talking to an inmate 192 times, that might be negative or perceived as negative in nature to the general public. You're a correctional officer, he's an inmate. Y'all talking every day, 192 times. That might be perceived as some type of negative.
If you go back and look and see what the time frame between that
has nothing to do with that. And then the fraternization, I've already read that. It's just contact on or off duty, personal relationship. Somebody calls you 192 times, that's a personal relationship. It doesn't say intimate. It says personal. Doesn't mean you have to be intimate. It just says personal. If he's calling you at 10:30 at night, that's a personal relationship. He's not calling you saying, hey, where's your son at? Can you call my mom? Any of that. Y'all talking about all kind of other stuff. You mad at him because he's talking to some other girl. That would be a personal relationship. Okay, so now that we've started over, you need to think about your actions. Don't come in here telling me she's got a vendetta.
Well, that is how it came out. Because I mean, seriously, why did it just come out? She do have a vendetta. Because I did write a statement. That's not a lie. I mean, regardless of whatever, but that is how it came out. Because she has a vendetta. That is it. Because I wrote a statement against her. That's not a lie. If you go back and look, that's how the investigation. That's what she meant about. But it's
in here. We can work with anything you do. Anything. As long as you don't break the law, we can work with you. If you tell a lie, we don't work with you. That's your job. If you come in here and lie, that is your job. You come in here and tell the truth, 100% truth. You can't willfully depart. You can't make up excuses or I don't know or any of this. You have to be 100% honest. We can work with you. But I'm going to tell you this right here. I take this to the sheriff, you're out of here. You're gone. Because you just lied, all kind of lies.
Well, I just really, to be honest with you, I know it's cynical. I just lied because I was about the dealing with him. But I promise you, I knew him before. That about his mother is not a lie, and all of that is not a lie.
Regardless of all that, how long have you known Mr. Stevens?
Some years. That's not a lie. Some years. I did know him.
Have y'all ever had an intimate relationship?
We never had an intimate relationship, but he did. Like me or whatever, try to like me. But I do know his mother. He is friends with my son.
Okay, besides the mother. I mean, we're talking about you and him. Okay. We're not talking about you, him, and his mother and son. You leave them out of it. It's you and him we're talking about, okay? Like I said, you have to be honest.
Right.
You've already told me you know his mother. Okay, I got that. Has he ever lived in your house?
He's not lived in my house, but he's stayed.
He stayed at your house, but he's never lived there. How long has he stayed at your house?
He would stay like nights at a time.
That was after July, when he was incarcerated prior, in July of last year. He come to jail. You kind of told him our policy and procedure about, hey, when you come in, they're going to run you. If there's a warrant on you, we need to call Fulton. You need to call Fulton. You need to tell them, hey, come get you. So after that, after this little incident in July, he stayed at your house since then.
He not moved, but he stayed.
Y'all kind of had a personal relationship.
He stayed the night. Like, he would stay over, but he didn't, because after that, everything just pretty much went. I never did. He never lived with me. So, but he did stay the night over there.
And what brought that on? I mean, was it just attraction between y'all? Did y'all have a relationship at one time?
It was just.
I mean, you can't help who you're attracted to.
It was just that. And to be honest with you, like I said, I went through a horrible divorce, and I still was, and he really was over there, he really was like a son or whatever. And it just, to be honest, my part stupid. Young, attractive guy or whatever. I'm not gonna lie, young, attractive guy. Saying the right things. For me, and we did hide it from my son. Because I didn't want them to know, because he is the age of he's 1 year older than my son. So but I realized that I couldn't be. And then I did, and that's why I said ever since last year, whatever, I haven't dealt with him like that. And then he didn't wanna. I don't know if you listen to the calls. He didn't wanna.
Well, it's 192 calls, and I'm gonna be very busy this weekend because I've only picked. Yeah. I mean, every one I picked, there's something interesting y'all talking about. Yeah. But if you listen, I can tell I probably listened to 10. Yeah. But there is one where y'all are talking about marriage back in February.
He might say, I've never talked about marriage to him. If you have to listen to the whole conversation, but I don't know if he was saying marriage. I know I never said something about marrying him. It might have was a joke. You have to listen to the whole thing. But
I don't know if y'all joking or not.
No, I'm saying what I just got out of divorce. Right. My divorce was just fine. And so if I said that I'm not, he might have said something I'm joking, but I'm not marrying him. If you go back and listen. If you go back and listen all the way
to March 16th at 4:25, 4 minutes and 25 into the phone call, he says, "Are you not still in love with me?" He asked you that. Right. You're actually walking around your house that you're over there looking at. You explain to him, "Oh, that's my shoes on the hardwood floors, whatnot." You hear, and he's sitting there trying to ask you, "Are you not still in love with me?" So at one time, I had to be something going on.
I
think y'all are in love,
Yeah, and what did I told him? I don't even remember. Did I even answer it? No, I probably didn't even answer because I don't want to give him that. And even last night he asked me, or the other day he asked me that, "Are you in love with me?" And I said, "No, I'm not in love with you, but I love you as a person." But I just got caught up in one of those situations, and that's when I tried to end it. And like I said, I have not had any. He's not been at my house.
Once you start, it's kind of hard to get out of.
But if you go back, I know you haven't listened, but if you go back and listen to all those calls, you start around about October or last year, whatever. I have not really. He has not been at my house back and forth like that because I told him I cannot do that. That I got the.
The thing is, you can come in here and you be honest. We work with you. You can't come in here and lie. Obviously.
Like I said, I got because really, honestly, because there is nothing with him, me and him. Now he keeps calling or whatever. There is nothing. I don't, now, like I said, I've never dealt with him at work.
Who's the female that y'all are upset over?
That
Burton. Is it Burton? You keep saying on him?
No, No, I'm not mad with Burton or whatever.
Is that an employee here?
Yeah.
Burton an employee here? What's her relationship with him?
Nothing. She's friends with me.
She's friends with you?
Right. And apparently she knows to be honest with you, I don't know how my name really got into it. That's what I was trying to figure out. How did my name get, if you listen to the conversation, that's what I was like, how in the world did my name get caught up? How did this get out? So I asked Burton, and I know that Burton is the nurse that used to work here, named Aisha, a medical assistant, whatever. That's who. And I know Burton was friends with her. So that's where he was thinking that it maybe came from. But when we found out, I found out that it was Goobill that she wrote that as a rebuttal to the statement. She wrote that as a rebuttal to.
You think long and hard and remember that willful omission. That means you telling me you don't know because you don't want to tell me the truth.
I don't know about what.
That's just like telling a lie.
Right. That I don't know what.
Is there anybody else that you know of as having relationships with inmates in our jail?
Honestly.
Personal, intimate, I don't care. Is there anybody else?
That I know of? Mm-hmm. No. Female that I know of that's having an.
Anybody calling him? Is he calling anybody else?
I don't know. All I know is he was calling the Aisha. She used to work here. That was the medical. Right, she doesn't work here anymore. And that's why Burton, if you listen to Burton, no, I was just thinking that did Burton tell her, or whatever. So, but no, I don't know of anybody else that has. No, honestly, I don't. But that's if you listen to the whole conversation. Burton name came up because I was trying to figure out who, did she did she maybe say something to somebody or whatever? And I know that he talks to this girl Aisha.
So what's y'all's relationship as of today?
We're not together like that. You listen to the thing. We're not together like that.
We're not together like that, but he's called you 8 times today.
Because if you listen to him, he's trying to beg me. He's trying to beg me to be with me, and I'm not doing it. If you listen to all the calls, and that's why when you go back, which I know you are, if you go back and listen, you'll hear the calls. Like, if you hear the days, and I'm like, no, because I just really started accepting. It's called if you go back and look at the because I wasn't. That's why I said if you go back and look at one point, I wasn't at one point. I had stopped.
The 13th, the 12th, and then before the 12th, you took 10 days off.
So that's what I'm saying. So
the 1st, the 24th. The 17th, the 15th, the 13th, the 1st, 31st, 30th, 27th, 26th, 25th.
And when he first, that was
there's a bunch too, so that might be some interesting calls to listen to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And if you listen to them, you'll hear where I'm telling him that I'm not even with that. But if you listen to those calls, please listen to it. You'll hear.
There's 22 calls in 3 days.
Right, because he's trying to call, and if you look, he also had those days not showing it. He had other people call me. He had other females call me. If you see like on my like private, he had like other people calling me because I wasn't going to accept the calls. And
Have you ever brought him anything into this?
I've never.
Have you ever promised him anything?
No, I have never promised him anything.
Inmate worker status?
No, I just told when he asked me the stats, if he asked me what can he do, and I explained to him that he had an open charge, I told him what he needed to do, which he knew what to do anyway because he'd been in jail before. But I did tell him that I would talk to Lynch or whatever, and see. Then once I talked to Lynch, was like, told me that he got kicked on, he was involved in a fight or something, and that they wasn't going to do it. And I said, well, he was an inmate worker before. I can't promise him that, you know what I'm saying? Once he got sentenced, I told he bonded out. Or whatever. So that's why I said if you listen to those calls, I mainly was telling him what he can do to get out.
Never brought him anything?
I've
done
never.
Any favors for him?
I'm
not going to hear it on here, hey, go by here and do this for me. Or
you're not going to hear that. Now, that you can listen to you're not going to hear that.
Put money on his books?
Never.
Had anybody else put money on his books?
Never. His mom then came and put money. That was like, ooh. That time. But this time, his mom haven't even came to see him this time. That's why I told her she's upset. She hasn't even been down there. He has, and that's why I say the girl, he has some other girl. That's why I say if you listen to all the calls, you will hear me telling him, you got somebody, go ahead, be with her. That's why I say you need to go back and listen, because that's why I wasn't even taking this call. When he first got incarcerated, he was calling to see, like, to tell me, like, tell my mom.
You was upset then, because some other girl was calling you,
right?
Telling you everything that has happened. But since then, there's over 175 phone calls since he's been incarcerated this time.
Because he's calling me because when he called to tell me.
These are not just 2-minute calls. These are like 10, 15-minute calls.
Yeah, because he's
you can hang up.
Say what now?
You can hang up. If you call me, I don't want to talk to you. I'm hanging up my phone.
Because I was mad. And a lot of times the calls were, if you listen, he were up. At one point, like I told you, 10 minutes, 10, it was a time where I wasn't even taking them. And then he'll call back. He'll just be like, when when they call through the can you pick up the phone or whatever. He'll have, I need to tell you something. He'll tell me something, especially when I was telling about his daughter and all of that stuff. But if that's why I said, if you listen to those calls, you will see where I was telling him, you got a girl.
Where's his daughter at?
She's in Douglasville, whatever.
She stay with you, Eddie?
Never.
No?
Never. She stays with her mother. And she stayed, and her grandmother passed or whatever, and the daughter that's a different situation. But no, his daughter's never stayed. I got enough kids, never stayed with me. She never stayed with me.
I mean, we monitor these phone calls,
right.
Or we have the ability.
Right.
I shouldn't say we monitor them, because if we do monitor them, we would have caught this a long time ago.
Right.
I mean, we kind of hold not only our deputies but our correctional officers to a higher standard, and we shouldn't have to babysit.
Right.
We shouldn't have to go around and make sure they're doing the right thing, because your oath of office and everything else, our ethics, tells us to do the right thing. Tells us. Doesn't say do the right thing when SIS is looking, or supervisor. I mean, you're supposed to do it at all times.
And this is the only thing that I ever, and the only reason, like I said, right now I'm going through it. I'm about to lose my house. It's getting foreclosed.
This ain't going to make it any better.
I know,
it makes it worse.
But I'm saying, but that's why I said, that's why I said that is the only thing, really, and that's why I said, only thing I've done is talk, and like I said, I knew him before, you know what I'm saying, before here.
Did you let your supervisors and them know that you know this guy? That this guy's
Sergeant Johnson, well, not that. I mean, but I told when he came in December, whatever. And Sergeant Johnson, I was like, when I said, because I didn't know he was out there, and I walked into, I was like, what are you doing in here, whatever. And then Sergeant Johnson was like, what is that like? I was like, yeah. I mean, they know that, but not to the extent that I told. No, I'm not finna say that because I'm not. Sergeant Johnson don't know that, but he know that I knew him because I was in intake when I walked in and I saw him, and I asked him what he was doing there for, you know, and he was just like, some traffic tickets or whatever and all that. So that's when he told me, that's when, if you look back to those, if you start back then, he was calling me then. And if you listen then, I was telling him then, you got somebody, or whatever. Why are you calling me? So when you listen to those, you'll hear that some girl, if you look on his visitation log, the same girl comes and see him every Monday or whatever, and you look at that and see all of that. And like I said, I did because I need my job, and I know that, you know, you're not supposed to whatever frat. Well, I didn't think that was, you know, because I knew him before, and the fact that I never brought him anything in the jail. I've never gone down there because I don't even work in the housing units, you know. So, like I said, so other than that one time when I mean, you know, being the fact that, you know, I think I didn't start a relationship in here. I didn't do, you know, and the fact that me and him has not been, you know, like that since last year. So that's why I did it. And I know that it's wrong or whatever, but that's the only thing that I did. But other than that, I've never brought him anything. I've never put any money on his books.
You have a home phone?
Yes, 770. That's the phone. You know, I can't circulate calls on my house phone.
This is an administrative leave form.
Okay.
You are, as of right now, on administrative leave pending this investigation.
Right.
Okay. That means I'm going to give you a card with my number on it. You have to call me every day. It's very important you call me every day and check in, because I'm not going to call you. You're going to call me, and I'm going to tell you, yes, you can come back to work. No, you can't come back to work. You need to come up here and talk to me. Your administrative leave is up. Come up here and get your stuff. But I'm not going to, you're going to have to check with me every day. Okay. Spell your first name.
LATONIA.
Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
Employee number.
19605.
Should have signed it and dated. No.
Okay, can I? Oh, go ahead.
You're a grown woman. I'm not going to tell you who to talk to and who not to talk to. But I'm going to ask you to follow rules and regs on and off duty. If you're not familiar with them, I've got a CD. You should have gotten a CD when you was in class. You need to go home and read them. You know, don't think that we're not going to figure out if you talk to anybody. We have meetings. I mean, we can do search warrants and all that good stuff. So don't think, you know, we're not going to find out, because we will find out. You know, eventually this guy's going to get mad at you and he's going to tell on you. Eventually, that's how it works.
Well, I mean, with him, it's out now. I mean, if there's anything possible,
my thing is, if he calls, you hear the guy, whatever they say, collect call, hang up. You don't have to sit there and wait for him to give you a message. You don't have to.
You're right.
Don't let curiosity get the best of you. Hang up the phone. Don't talk to him. Yeah. In this profession, you're held to a higher standard. You're pretty much, I mean, you're a professional. You gotta act like a professional.
I mean, other than that, that's the only. And then, like I said, you my record. That's the only thing.
You have an outstanding record.
And I can't.
For 5 years, for me not to find anything. Not saying you haven't done anything, but
that is the only thing.
Everything's been kept in house with your supervisor, because I haven't gotten anything up here in my files. So that is an outstanding record.
And honestly, that is the only thing. And like I said, I just was.
This is an ongoing investigation.
Because
so
I need.
Don't discuss this with any of your coworkers. For one, you don't want them to know what you're doing.
Exactly.
You know. And for two, that's how rumors get started. Because then you tell somebody, they're gonna go tell a whole different story, and tell somebody else, and then they're gonna tell somebody else, and it's gonna be all over this jail. And you don't want your reputation like that. So, do you have any questions?
So I know you got to do the investigation, whatever, but so I know he's gonna say it's too late now, whatever. So other than since I did tell the truth about about me and him or whatever. So does that do I write another statement or can I write or whatever? Or can I?
I'll give you a statement form for you to take home. That way, you can think about everything. I'll make you 10 copies because there's 192 phone calls, and I'm probably gonna find something I may not. I may find something.
Oh no, I'm just saying. What do you?
Just be honest.
What I'm saying. I'm asking. What are you asking?
To take home.
No, I'm saying. What are you? I'm saying. I'll take it home and I'll write it because I need my job. And like I said, other than that, and the only reason, as I said, other than that, the fact that I lied because I need my job and I know
just
that.
Put in there. You know what? I lied because I am a divorced single mother and I need my job and I know this is unacceptable at the sheriff's office. And like I told you before, be truthful. I'm not the one who dishes out punishment.
Right.
I do go up there and talk to the chief and the sheriff, and if there's a disciplinary review board, I do go up there and explain the case to them. And if they have any questions or whatnot, I give them the answers they're looking for. They make the decision.
But I can't. If I'm on administrative leave, I can't bring that back in the jail, right? If I'm on admin, I can't give you.
But you can call me.
No, I'm saying, okay, I can call you and meet you to give you a statement.
I work Monday through Friday. I can call. You can call me. I can come to your house and pick it up.
Okay.
My thing is, I got all 3 hours of this, and I'm still up here dealing with this.
I understand. This is not going to change anyway because you're off this weekend anyway. Right. So that gives you all weekend to. Well, I don't need all weekend. I'm just trying to tell the truth. The only thing I gotta just add is that.
Do you have your ID card with you? And your fob, your key fob to come in. You cannot be up at this building while you're on administrative leave. You are subject to be called in. If you read this, and I'll read it to you.
I just got it.
I'm gonna read this to you. This document, first it's a notice of administrative leave pending internal investigations. This document is to serve as official notification that as a result of your involvement in matters which are currently the subject of an internal investigation by members of the sheriff's office, you're hereby placed on administrative leave without pay. You are to immediately surrender your badge, identification, and any firearms which you have been issued to you by the sheriff's office. While on administrative leave, you are not to act in any manner so as to hold yourself out as a law enforcement officer or employee of the sheriff's office. Your privilege to hold secondary employment as an employee of the sheriff's office is also suspended for the duration of this period of administrative leave. While on administrative leave, you are to consider yourself on call to the investigating officer of the sheriff's office who is or handling your case. You are to provide said investigators with updated contact information to include the address where you may be found during this period of administrative leave and any phone numbers where you can be reached. You are reminded that this matter is considered confidential in nature and is not to be discussed with anyone other than the investigator assigned to this case. If you have any questions regarding the investigation, you are to contact your case investigator. This action is not to be considered disciplinary in nature, and no presumption of guilt has been attached to you at this stage of the investigation. Now, I'm the only one assigned to this case, so do not discuss this case with anybody else other than me or Lieutenant Fanning. Nobody else. If anybody else calls you, if your sergeant or your lieutenant or whoever, Major Sal calls you, tell them you're under investigation, you can't discuss it. They know the rules, they know rules and regs.
I'm just being sure. I'm asking. I mean, I know.
This is my cell phone. You were to call me every day, even on the weekends, at 10 o'clock.
10 a.m.
10 a.m. That gives you don't have to get up at 5 o'clock to call me. That gives you time to do whatever. And 10 o'clock. If I don't answer, you leave me a voicemail. And I may call you back, I may not. It just depends. Because you're not the only case I'm working. We have 400 something employees. I may be doing something else. So,
okay,
but it's very important for you to call me every day and check in.
Okay. I know you can't, whatever, but my question is this, I lost my train of thought. When I guess be honest, I mean, like if I write a statement, I tell you, well, I mean, like I said, the only thing I just, because I was afraid because I need my job and I know the situation, and then I'm no longer dealing with him like that, and I just didn't want to lose my job because of somebody I'm not even dealing with like that.
The most important thing is just go through and write from day one. Day one, not day one when him and your son became friends.
Right.
But day one when you got involved with him on a personal level.
All right.
And just go from there. You know, if he stayed at your house, or Pootie stayed at your house. Because believe me, you know.
Yeah, he didn't, but he did stay right.
Because the first time he gets mad at you, he's gonna come out and he's gonna tell everything he knows.
I mean, yeah, I am. I'm going to do. I mean, I guess I'm just trying to say.
Do you have a badge? No badge. Can't go out representing yourself. You can't tell nobody you work with us or anything like that. You know, just.
So once I write a statement, I mean, honestly, what is the chance of me retaining my job?
That's totally up to the chief and the sheriff. Us in this office, we have nothing to do with disciplinary actions. We just write the report. What I'll do is I'm going to come up here this weekend. After I get through listening to all these, I'm going to write the report. And I'm going to put my findings in there. You know, yes, you did violate the truthfulness policy, but then you came back and you told me the truth. You know, but I'm just going to get written that you did lie to me because you did lie to me. You know. The recordings, the sheriff gets a copy, he reviews the court recording. Your statement's going to go in this file, and then your new statement's going to go in there. And he's going to read both of them. But he's also takes into effect your past conduct too. I'm not saying that just because you have a perfect record
Right,
from the
I
state.
know that.
I mean,
I just know that usually when you get on administrative leave without pay, you're fired. So I mean, everybody's been put on admin leave without pay, you get fired. So. And I'm just,
not the case.
and I just gotta think realistic because I'm under a foreclosure. I mean, I gotta move, so I just need to be real. I just need to say realistically, what do I need? I mean,
well, it's
do I need to be seeking employment somewhere? Because like I said, my house is foreclosing on April the 3rd. I was gonna go down to see can I bid on it.
Well, I'll have this written up and given to the sheriff by Monday. So, and then however long it takes him to review it, he may not even be in the office Monday.
Right.
But whenever he reviews it,
but I'll call you tomorrow and give you that statement. So
you call me tomorrow if it's done.
It's gonna be done.
I'll come pick it up Monday because I'm not coming back to Clayton County unless I get called in.
I know.
It's 22 hours. I'm going to end this interview.
Okay.
Stop the recording.